The professor's got a big board tomorrow.
The biggest, stupidest thing of the week, which is NBA, the big one on PS5 and Xbox and whatever, was released. They released a WNBA version, and Angel Reese is on the cover. Now, I don't know about you guys and how much you play video games, but I actually played this game with the kid last night, and we had to play a game to 11 like you would at
you were playing WNBA video games?
Oh, my God.
We had to play the version to 11 like the rec league game because we didn't have time to start like a season. And playing Angel Reese as a WNBA character, game to 11, it took us 4.5 hours before 11 playing Angel Reese WNBA game. I played the Angel Reese team. I was 9 of 75 on the floor, and that was a good shooting night.
Did they show an actual ball or just a brick on the video game? I would imagine
He just has a brick.
Just depicted as a brick. Yeah.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Great to be with you here. Today's edition of the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest. We got Mike Lubie Lubitz looking very resplendent there in that light blue shirt. I think that comes you and really makes your handsome features stand out. Good to have you guys along for the ride. Hope everybody's feeling good about themselves today. That's the way to start the day, though, isn't it, Lubie? Most people start the day like bitching at themselves, fetching. Oh, my God, I got to do this, I got to do that. I don't know, I'm going to go for lunch. Who's going to pay? Do you start with like a bunch of issues every day? How does your mind open up? Does it blossom into something?
I don't know if I'm blossoming.
Emerging flower, or do you start the day thinking, Jesus Christ, who wants to do this?
Probably closer to that.
All right, well, we're going to go old school later on with Tony Segreto. I would imagine Tony will want to participate a little bit in the Mike Lubie Lubitz Training Camp Chronicles because he certainly chronicled many training camps with the Miami Dolphins over the years. And also have to begin today with old school, old fool. I did it to myself again, Lubie. I brought myself back into the mental torture. I mean, talk about starting the day off on a negative note. This is what happened to me, Lubie. I got sucked in on a deal with my beloved New York Post. Now, most of the Post is garbage. You know this. Absolute garbage. You can buzz through the news section and get a lot of laughs out of it, even though that may change now with Rupert Murdoch not exactly in the good graces of one Donald J. Trump any longer. That being said, and it's interesting, too, because he's destroying Trump in the Wall Street Journal while he couldn't be any more flattering or favorable to these Republicans who decided just yesterday, hey, you know what? Let's close up shop. We don't want to get into this thing.
Yeah, I love that.
We'll go talk to the woman who's in jail. I mean, I would imagine she would want to say almost anything now at this point to dodge 20 years in a federal prison. That's a pretty good chunk of your life, right? It goes from, what is she, in her 50s?
Yes.
To be like a 70-year-old woman. I don't want to say old bag because I'm in my 70s, and I'm in that category now where a 70-year-old woman is actually a younger woman. Can you imagine, Lubie?
Yeah, true.
You're chasing younger women? 72, but you know what? Her Social Security's solid, and she's got a lot of money in a bank. Her ex-husband was filthy rich.
Yeah,
these are the kind of considerations that that you're using as criteria to decide whether or not somebody is pursuable or not. But old fool. Okay, so I get this letter a couple of weeks ago. I actually debated whether I really wanted to engage myself in this from the New York Post. And I've seen these offers before, and it used to piss me off because you're paying pretty much list price there for the paper, even though you're getting it delivered, and that's a luxury. But you may even be paying a little premium on that service as well. Now, it's not a convenient thing for me. I don't feel like getting in a car. I could roll down to Publix, sells a New York Post. There's a little convenience store, both within a half-mile range of my house, where if I really wanted to pick this thing up at $3 a copy, I could easily do that. But the convenience was, Lubie, I had it while I was on the throne in the morning, and I found the sports section, which is still the better. I mean, we're saying that it's among the better sports sections in the country because there just aren't that many sports sections in the country anymore that really bring it to the table every day and cover sports all around the world, sports in the US of A, and then sports, of course, in their local city. So while you're getting a big dose of New York stuff, which is always seemingly relevant to the national media, is it not? What goes on in New York seems to be of interest. To everybody on the eastern half of the country.
Well, I mean, the New York papers are also really good about, outside of like if they get in the minutia of Mets race or the Yankees race, they usually cover the leagues at large. That's actually something that the New York papers do really well. That's why, yes, it's New York and it's New York focused, but it also gives you a national feel too, like the Post.
Well, and it's good to get outside of your own little circle where you're reading. Well, there's nothing to read about anymore because they don't even cover these teams. You didn't have a beat reporter. Think about that. Was that both local newspapers, Miami Herald and Sun Sentinel, that neither had a beat reporter on the Florida Panthers after they had won the Stanley Cup last year, and they didn't assign anybody to cover their games on a regular basis? They're picking up wire copy. If there is, do they even have wire networks anymore? AP, UPI, they still around? That used to be the big thing. But when you see like an AP byline on a local team, it's a disgrace. And that's the status of the newspaper business right now, kind of the status of the radio business. Slowly but surely, it's all eroding. Fortunately, it's going in this direction, which we've yet to catch up with. But nonetheless, it's better to be positioned somewhere where you might have a chance to actually make something happen, as opposed to being in a dead industry. But all that aside, I mean, the post sports section is great. I found it. I mean, what preparation? What do you usually punch up in the morning when you're looking at stuff? Maybe ESPN, CBS Sportsline.
I just go through, and even though it's where depravity lives, I just go through Twitter. I mean, I follow enough on Twitter X that it gives me like headlines of what happened the night before, the morning of. It usually gives me like an idea of what's going on, and then I'll go through the specific websites just to see if I'm missing anything. Like,
I don't find the articles online carry the same depth, and they certainly are lacking in the creativity that you would find if you were reading a really good, well-written newspaper sports article. And we were lucky here for a long time, and I guess other cities around the country. I used to love reading the LA Times. They had an alternate paper there, kind of, the LA Herald Examiner, which was great. When I first moved here, you had the Miami News had brilliant writers. The Miami Herald had really strong writers and columnists. The Sun Sentinel had, a field of 20-some-odd sports writers working for them, and many were outstanding and really could bring it to the table. And it was a lot of fun, and I enjoy reading this stuff. I always did. I was kind of growing up with I was lucky. I mean, I had the New York papers, and Sports Illustrated was at the top of its game. Sport Magazine was really good. So there were any number of so-called sports literature publications that would enhance your viewership of sports, far more so than listening to a bunch of guys talking on TV. I mean, how much attention do you ever pay? Isn't it always disappointing when you tune into what you think is going to be a game and the pregame show is on?
Yes.
It's like, wait, I got to wade through 20 minutes of Kendrick Perkins saying, well, those guys really don't know how to play ball. Okay, great. At least, I don't know. I mean, we're kind of making an illusion here, contradicting ourselves. But, okay, so the guy played the game, and you would think he might have some more insight into it than maybe a couple of other guys on the set, especially Screamin' A, who, I mean, when was the last thing you remembered something that this guy said, and you said, wow, he was right on the money. I think the last time he said something relevant that stuck with you was when he told you LeBron and Wade and Chris Bosh were all coming to the Miami Heat. And well, he pegged that. I mean, I'll give him credit. He was ahead of everybody else on that story. So that was good. But outside of that, I mean, all of this screaming nonsense about the Knicks and the Dallas Cowboys and all of this other garbage, it doesn't really sink in. Not as well as reading a story. So what happens? They sent me this letter, and like I said, I debated it because I didn't know that I wanted to go through the aggravation at any price, Lubie, at any price. And it says you can get 10 weeks of the New York Post for $1 a week, $10 total. All right, so I'm thinking, all right, cancel anytime, and you don't have to. I mean, it reverts back to regular pricing after the 10 weeks, but that puts me into September. Yes. And I thought, all right, let's see if there's any possibility, however remote,
Oh, they've changed. They've gotten better. They've gotten their act together.
Maybe they have a new delivery guy in the area, somebody that's on top of it. I mean, for years and years, for the most part, I got really good service on that. There were the occasional days where the paper didn't come or whatever, but you remember I used to bring it to work. I was leaving for work at 5 in the morning. So, I mean, it was delivered to my door in one piece. It got to be so annoying that I was having to call every day about redelivering the paper, and then it wouldn't be redelivered, and then you had to call back to try and get a credit because at $3 a copy, I mean, you really don't want to miss like 4 papers a week, and then be paying for it.
No.
So I finally, very reluctantly, you know how I agonized over this for a long period of time. Like I'm going to have to just dump the subscription. That's it. Enough is enough. And so I did, and I would say that I missed it, but not to the point where it was a life-changing experience. And yet I thought, well, maybe I'm less informed when I come and do these things. Maybe my memory is just shot, whatever it is. But I did enjoy whatever sort of intuitive stuff would pop up after consuming it, because there's something about reading it, even if you're scanning it and you're thinking about a million other things. For some reason, I was able to retain a lot of stuff out of the post that I thought was worthwhile to communicate to you, our beloved audience. So I go ahead for $10. I figured, well, what do I have to lose? $10? I mean, this is not even a half an exact at the racetrack on the first race at Beulah Park. So I went ahead. I went through the thing. I subscribed, and today was supposed to be my first delivery. And guess what, Lubie?
Oh, it's still not there? Oh, Jesus.
Zippity doo dah, baby. I got up a couple of times as I usually do, but I finally rose from the grave there, the bed, at about 6:20, getting ready to do all of this. And I thought, well, let me look outside. There could be. That as I'm instead of scrolling through my phone and looking at things and reading the same Facebook things that the same people put out every day, I would have the New York Post and sit there and go over Saratoga entries and whatever else was happening, the woes of the New York Mets, what other stories were going. They do a great job covering baseball, Jets and Giants. We were talking about that. Do you go over 5.5 with either team going into the season? Is there reason to be optimistic? I don't know, but at least we would have some validation, some kind of background to formulate an opinion on, which we could deliver to our audience here. So it would have been great. Nothing. And then I found myself doing that same anxiety dance that I'd been doing when I was getting the paper, looking outside like every 20 minutes to see if it came. Nothing. And so on the very first day that I was supposed to get this $10 delivery, now do they look in denigrating fashion upon the people that are taking advantage of this ridiculously low offer?
No, they're happy to have people
would want to have you back, so you stick with it, right?
Yes. They're not mocking you. They are bad at this now.
First day.
This is reality. That's
now
why
you think, all right, maybe the guy didn't get the notice or wasn't aware of it. He's used to doing his route here. He's got one new paper to deliver. And let's face it, I saw one other person, actually, I can't believe it. A guy 2 doors down from me had a New York Post in his doorway. But it looked like one of those things where he was getting it once a week, because you would see it more frequently. Once in a blue moon, I'll see a newspaper tucked in a New York Post, little wrapper. And so I'm thinking, wow, okay, there's somebody else in the area here, because the same people that deliver the Sun Sentinel deliver the Post. All right, they just put a different bag on a thing, different paper, and I don't know that more than 10 people out of the 85 units here. I can't even imagine. You think it's 10 people get the Sun Sentinel delivered still out of 85 units in this complex? 5? How many people probably
people still do get it? It's obviously not like it was. I would say, yeah, you probably have 10. I mean, there are people that do like
10 people get the paper here.
There's some people that like getting the paper. I mean,
and this is a sort of older up, in terms of demographic.
I want to say people like my dad got the paper for, I think finally he ended it a few years ago, but he was getting it forever.
Yeah.
I mean, like you, he's always, and I grew up doing it as well. It just it was never cost effective for me. So I never did it, but I could see why the tactile version would be something people want. Out of 85 homes in that area, I would say.
And he says 2 is the over under. 2 and a hook.
I would say you could get to 10. It's just there are a lot of people you find out that randomly still get papers. Like,
I don't know many of them. I remember feeling so old when I used to go to those meetings, those staff meetings at the radio station, and they would have like people from all different categories there. We had what 7, 8 stations there at the Waco Combine, and they would have a meeting about social media, right? And here I come in there. I felt like an old fat Hank Goldberg, with a bunch of newspapers under my arm, and I've got a New York Post. And the young people that were in these meetings, which everybody was like 40 years younger than I was, were looking like, well, what is that? It was like I brought the tablets down with the 10 Commandments on them. Hey, tired of carrying those things? Yeah. Want to talk about a foreign object? Oh, he's going to his trunks for a foreign object. That would be the newspaper. But and I even felt like Grace Blazer, the program director, was looking at me like, "What a schmuck, man! This guy still reads the newspaper."
Yes.
That was a funny thing about getting ready for a show. You would show up for these morning shows, and I remember there was a big fight over who was going to get the Sun Sentinel, who was going to get the Herald, because everybody was making notes and trying to come up with something. Oh yeah, well you know what happened in that game last night. Now you do because you just read it in the paper. God forbid you should invest some time in watching. But anyway, so I'm 0 for 1 now, Lubie. 0 for 1 with a walk. And I don't think I'm going to cancel it for the $10. But I mean, it's not a good sign.
Can't renew. Yeah, no. I mean, you write out the 10 weeks.
The 10's gone. It's already on a credit
Make sure
card.
you cancel it because that's their move. Is they do these things and then people forget and then it balloons.
Right.
So make sure you remember. I would.
I have the date already circled on a calendar that I have to cancel.
I would pre-cancel like a month or 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And they'll probably let you finish your 10 weeks. But then that way, when you forget, it still cancels because you've already canceled it.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. I get no. They whack your credit card in advance. Yeah, so I'm going to have to make sure that I cancel. I think 2 weeks ahead of time.
I wouldn't screw around because they don't mess.
So we should have a contest, though, Lubie. How many of the? So it will be 70 papers essentially.
Actually, come
of the 70. How many will I actually get delivered in some kind of convenient time? Now I don't know if the guy doesn't come at 5 a.m. I can't say as I blame him. But it should be here. It's supposed to be here by like 8 o'clock. If you call after 8 o'clock, you don't have the eligibility to have it redelivered, but they never redeliver the thing. Now, today is the first day, so do you give the guy a break?
I guess. Did it rain all night? I know it rained yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't bad out there.
Like, did it rain to the point where they can't get in an automobile and throw it out the door?
It's a bone out here. It's a veritable desert.
Like
a dry martini with a little.
Like it rained out west, so I don't know what it is out east, but it didn't rain enough where I would be like, "Oh, I can't work now because it's raining." It's not raining like that.
You're saying it rained overnight, Louie, but it wasn't. It wasn't
bad.
I'm
asking if it rained. I don't know.
I don't think it was bad here at all. I really don't. I mean, it might have been some rain, but it wasn't enough to be significantly considered. Like it's not like the Texas floods. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you're getting in your
houses unhinged and rolling down the pathway. All right, 0 for 1. All right, so we'll have the over/under. Of the 70 days that I've subscribed to the New York Post, what number of days will I get it at a reasonable time to where you could say, okay, that service was in the parameters, the guidelines of what they had laid out? And how many times will I have to call this number now, which is top priority in my phone? 800, what is it? 552. I almost have it memorized here.
That's so funny.
Who remembers phone numbers anymore? Unbelievable. All right, so everybody should start calling on my behalf here. 800-552-7678. Blow past they have an automated system where you can go ahead and lodge your complaint, but they do get it. So we'll see what happens. It might have rained in New York, Andy says. They don't publish this. They print this thing at the Sun Sentinel, man.
Yeah, it's actually down here.
Yeah. It's not like the old days where you used to put a bunch of them on a plane and they would come all bundled up.
That's stupid.
Some guy, the district manager, would come, and all the delivery people that were on bicycles. Remember when you were a kid? I don't know. You ever do a route? Never did.
No, I never did that. No.
On Long Island, it was a very popular job.
I know.
I never actually had my own paper route, but I did fill in for my brother had one. Yeah. And so you would ride your bike to a destination there, and the district manager, who had like a van, would dump the papers out. You go, okay, DeForest, you get 47 of them. You get 27. Johnny, you get whatever. And then you would go back and do your route. And that was it. And it wasn't uncommon. People tipped like 10 cents for the week when you came to collect. Yeah, they would give you like the whole delivery was like $1, and they would give you like $1.10. You're like, whoa, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad I had that job at Shea, man. I paid far more than these paper. I was making in an hour what these guys were making in a month. It was incredible. Spoiled me, no, Lubie. I was used to having money as a kid, so that was. Yeah, I mean, I was used to having money most of my life. Old age may be a problem when I start drifting into the 80s. Speaking of the 80s, I did want to mention this because this guy was very, very significant in town here and appeared to be extremely well respected and dignified. He defended some people that you thought were of suspect nature. Of course, they were suspect because they were on trial, for God's sake. So somebody had suspicions about him, but he seemed to be a very noble guy. Roy Black, the attorney, Roy Black.
Yeah,
Check it out. That was in the news. Paled in comparison to the attention that was being given to Ozzy Osbourne's passing. Ozzy Osbourne, Metallica, and heavy metal fame, and became a very endearing figure, did he not? I mean, a real nutbag. Imagine getting fired from a heavy metal band because you're too drugged up and drunk. Lubie, that's the whole theme of their existence. I mean, you're so extreme that they fire you from Metallica. You got to be kidding me, Lubie. What on earth did you have to be doing to be in that kind of a sloppy condition? But became a very endearing character, right, when the Osbournes was on TV. And, of course, his wife then became a fixture on talk shows. She was on, what, The Talk or whatever that is? The View? No, not The View, the other one. CBS knockoff of The View. And she was on that for a long period of time and then got into some kind of a jackpot or a dispute. But Ozzy became a very beloved character, did he not? I wasn't a Metallica fan necessarily. I mean, I naturally. What's that?
Was he? I don't. Was he? He was in Metallica, or is in? They kept seeing people promoting Black Sabbath. I
don't know. It's one of those bands. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly. It shows you.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about
We know because I don't know what band it was. I just saw yesterday people talking about Black Sabbath.
Could be.
I just knew him on his own being famous. I didn't realize. So even
he started out with either Black Sabbath. I want to say Metallica, but you're saying Black Sabbath.
No, I don't know. I'll look it up. I honestly
don't know. Yeah, we don't want to be wrong about this.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I mean we're paying tribute to a man. We have no idea what he did. Typical of this show. But anyway, Osbourne checked out. But Roy Black also. I met Roy Black a couple of times. He did seem like a very distinguished gentleman. And I want to say that he led his life on the side of being more of a crusader for good than, I mean, what was it? That was William Kennedy, who was the guy that supposedly did some rape of a woman on the seawall of his house. Was that William Kennedy? One of the Kennedys. Oh, it was Black Sabbath. Very nice.
He was the lead vocalist for Black
Metallica Sabbath. Was mentioned, I guess, as the other band that was pioneering.
They were both huge 70s, 80s heavy metal rock, yes.
All right, so I knew it was one of the two.
He was right there with me.
All right, so, Black checked out. Ozzy Osbourne checked out. That's also a part of the old. Old fool for me. Roped into a 10-week subscription to the New York Post. Only so that it could drive me crazy in the morning. Now I have something to get all unnerved about every single morning. Going outside, is it there? Is it there? Is it there? Is it there? I'll wait 15 minutes. Is it there? It's like I was waiting for a beautiful naked girl to show up at the door. And say, Defo, it's been a while.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen, does it? No. I told Jersey Kyle that many years ago. I said, listen, you got to get off your ass and get out and do something, man. He had broken up with DeQuesta Cathy, and I don't know that he was depressed about it, but he wasn't doing much with himself. And I said, well, when was the last time an absolutely stunning, knockout, gorgeous young girl stopped by your house and knocked on the door and said, hey, Jers, I hear you've been alone for a while.
Yeah, never. Never.
You got to get out there. 100%. You want something to happen? Get out there and make something happen. That's the way to go. All right. Speaking of old, though, some distinguished accomplishments by older players. Now, what is 45 years old in baseball and tennis years? Is it like dog years, Lubie? By the way, I love the picture you had of your dog laying in the street. That was great because he was trying to find sunshine. Dogs like sunshine, Lubie. That's
Well, it's just he's a husky, so it's the weirdest thing because it's so hot outside, and I'm a white guy, so I can feel the heat. And everyone goes to heat, but it's not great for me to just be in the sun. And I'm like, you're a husky, and where it's not like he looks for the shade and wants to feel the something.
No, there was shade right behind it. It was a good illustration.
He wants to lay in the sun, and he does this like every walk. He finds the sunniest place, and he just lays there. I'm like, I get it. They like my cat does it, and she doesn't have the same amount of fur, so I get her wanting to lay in the sun. But like, he's a husky. It's like, you dumbass. Like, it's not good for you. It's really hot, and I'll just lay there. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Sidewalk too. I get nervous just walking Skippy on this blacktop that we have out here. If I don't get him out there by 10 o'clock, I'm thinking, and somebody suggested this.
The shoes.
That I would never be able to get the shoes on Skippy, but that if you're walking your dog on the hot pavement in the summertime here in South Florida, just walk along with him barefoot. And if it's too much for you, chances are you're burning the living daylights out of your dog's paws. But there's almost no avoiding it. I mean, to get to the turf course here, you have to cross over the dirt path. It's like putting horses on the green at Saratoga. And so, while the grass is not that far away where I'm situated, there is at least 10 yards worth of asphalt that this dog has to traverse. He doesn't seem to mind it as much as you think he might.
Well, we started training with him with the baby coming and him being a bigger dog. We're not even trying to mess with it. So,
what do they do? Bring in like a dummy baby?
Oh, we went to this place and we're going to go every week for the next 3 months. And they did a dummy dog, and they're going to next week start having real dogs, which is good.
Yeah.
And then they will do dummy babies. And they actually said, we have friends with kids. We may even bring the babies in if we can do it, just to get him acclimated. So that's cool. And the girl was talking about, I put shoes on my dog. I'm like, he doesn't give a crap. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he's not weirded out by nature. It starts raining and he's like loving it. I'm like, dude, he's like all terrain.
That's good.
I'm like,
if he hates the rain, he doesn't like the rain.
I don't want to walk in the rain.
My other little dog, Holly, doesn't even want to go for a walk. She just goes outside here, and that's it. If you try to put unless she's going in the car, she doesn't want anything to do with the harness or a leash. When she does go, though, she seems to enjoy it, but I literally used to have to drag her around the block when I used to walk her on a regular basis, and we finally just gave up and said, hey, listen, you can have it your way, man. It's Burger King over here. All right, so 45 years old, Rich Hill came back and pitched. He started for the Kansas City Royals last night. Rich Hill.
Really?
Rich Hill, I kind of remember him more as a Dodger, but this guy has nothing. Minnie Minoso had nothing on this guy. He's played for 14 teams. That's an all-time major league record. This was his 14th different ball club that he's appeared. He's appeared every season with at least one major league team since 2005. So 20 years. Might be his 21st year, I guess. Don't know exactly how that math works. Do you have trouble with that one? It's like he started in 2005, so this is his. We were trying to figure out how long the Marlins have been in the
Marlins. I guess
the Heat.
20th year, 21st year. I don't know.
But 14 different teams. Rich Hill, and he goes and was fairly impressive last night. His fastball couldn't break an egg, but he was averaging 89 miles an hour. Holy Randy Jones. What are we talking about here? Left-hander with he's got the big curveball, though. He always was known for his curveball. He had a great breaking ball. And he goes 5 innings last night, throws 90 pitches at 45 years old. Only gives up 1 earned run. He got touched for 3 runs, but only 1 earned, 6 hits, and fairly impressive. Kansas City Royals started Rich Hill last night. And then I don't know that I'd ever thought that this would happen because it was always, look, I have no problem with older players that want to play. I don't necessarily like older fighters that get back in a ring. We're seeing a bunch of this stuff happening, including, as we mentioned the other day, with a guy that I really liked as a fighter, and he seemed like a really good guy. Sugar Shane Mosley's coming back at 50. I don't like to see that.
Jesus, really? He was out of it when we talked to him like 10 years ago.
Out of it, yeah. It seemed like
5 years ago. Was it Atlanta? I don't remember where we had him on, but
might have been Atlanta. I think we might have had him on a couple of times, and the second time we already knew that okay, if there was a way to type in subtitles, we would have to do it.
Like it was really cool to have Sugar Shane Mosley. Like he was,
I love the guy,
a legend, and like we were excited to have him on, and then it was like, oh, okay.
Well, you hate when somebody's just really struggling
It
like
just sucks, like, because he thought he sucked. It's like,
I told you about the time I had Smoking Joe Frazier come to the WIOD studios. I'm thinking, wow, this is huge. I got Joe Frazier coming in here. And his son Marvis came with him, which I was not expecting. And thank goodness he did, because you could not understand a word that Joe was saying. He actually seemed to get better as he got closer and closer to meeting his maker there. But in that particular interview, you literally needed an interpreter, and Marvis was there interpreting for him. Except this was weird; it was like a Mel Tillis moment, Lubie, because naturally I talked to Joe Frazier about his band. He always enjoyed being a leader, singing with this big band that he had, and so we asked him to belt out a tune, and he did it perfectly. It was
nice.
Yeah, he sounded great there. He could sing, but when you ask him, what was what was the final decision there? Who made it in the Thrill in Manila? You had no idea what he was talking about. He told you about how he enjoyed playing with his grandchildren. I mean, you're like, what? But yeah, so yeah, you don't like seeing this in an older fighter, but I don't mind it. I mean, if Venus Williams wants to play in tennis tournaments. It had gotten embarrassing, though. She was getting blown out like Love and One in the first round of tournaments against some qualifier, and hadn't won a singles match since 2023. She might not have won even a doubles match during that period of time. So pretty much a shot fighter. Would you agree, Lubie? Getting knocked out constantly. She would get some kind of sponsor exemption into the tournament. Clearly not ranked anymore. And it would be Venus Williams, and that would usually be the feature match on opening day if you were in the grandstand court at any tournament. In fact, I think when we went down to the Miami Open, didn't we get a little Venus to open things up?
Yeah.
Oh, and that was when you declared she was a shot fighter.
Been average for a while, and then she woke up and had from that tournament for the next like year where she like would be in semifinals, and I think she won a couple tournaments. And like she hadn't done anything, and I was like, she sucks now. She's not. And I said it from sadness because I was a big Venus fan. Whenever her and Serena would fight or play in a fight, I was always an older brother, like in my life, so I would always root for her. As a younger sister, would always probably be better. My brother was vastly better than me at tennis as well. So I like at home, so I was rooting for Venus, and she would always lose to Serena. So I was sad to see her not be able to compete anymore. And then she looked great for like the next year.
Well, she had a couple of good years after you made that declaration on your astute analysis. I mean, holy John Newcomb. I mean, what were you talking about there? But she gets a win at 45, DC Open. So congratulations go out to some of the senior citizens out there, as Rich Hill goes 5 for the Kansas City Royals in a reasonably decent performance. I don't know. Do you have to go 6 to qualify for a quality start? I think you do.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably change the definition of that because no one goes 6 anymore. But
yeah, if you go 3 and you give up 6 runs or less, it's a quality start at this point. And Venus, I beat a girl named Peyton Stearns, who's ranked number 35 in the world. I've seen her play; she's not bad, and beat her in straight sets very convincingly. So I don't know if Peyton Stearns got a little bit nervous playing the legendary Venus Williams, but finally a victory for Venus in the DC Open. So 2 45-year-olds returning to action for the first time in a while, and both ended up putting on impressive performances. And that's a perfect segue, Lubie, into the introduction of this gentleman, which would be, speaking of, see, now you defy Father Time, Tony.
Yeah, see, like he doesn't look lost.
What the hell,
He's
man?
getting better.
Each week on this show, you get better looking.
That's why I come on. I come on just to hear this stuff.
True, though. I mean, look, a lot of people pop up on these screens, and you're going, "Oh, geez, you know what happened to you?" Maybe a guy you hadn't talked to in a long period of time. It's always nice when they look a lot better than you're anticipating after maybe a 20-year hiatus. But you, I mean, just continue to prosper in this regard, Tony. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. I'm listening to you guys, and I'm enjoying it and having a good time. And Lubie, how's your wife feeling?
She's doing well. The nighttime can be fun, but she's good. The little one's good, and we get to 6 months next week, so really excited.
Hey, whose dog is it? Yours or hers?
I mean, it's our dog.
Oh,
I
so
tend to him.
you didn't go into the marriage with a dog.
No, we got no. I love animals in a sense that they're fun when they're over there. I didn't want to get one because it's a lot of freaking work, but she's insane about animals. So it was a declaration that was signed with marriage that we would have a cat and a dog. So we now have a cat and a dog.
Oh, wow. And we just saw the cat made an appearance here.
Cecilia is a ham. She likes to appear on the show, and Wolf likes to try and put her head in his mouth. So that we both of them together.
They get along, Libby.
They get along because Cecilia doesn't give a crap. That's why they like Cecilia. He is a doofus, and everything he does is with his mouth. So when he's with bigger animals, it's fine. But with little animals, it usually scares them. Cecilia is very tough. So it works out because she yells at him and punches him in the face. And he it's really funny to watch. Like she sits back like she's a boxer, and she'll box him. And he is like, what the hell? He's actually scared of her. So that's why they get along, is because the big one is scared of the little one. And the little one is tough as nails, much like like her mother. So yeah, it's fun around here. Adding a little human is going to be even more fun. That's why the training is there, because I don't know.
Trouble. Yeah. No, the cat, when they swatted a dog, man, the dog realizes that women hold all the power.
Yes. That's exactly the look. He's like, oh, never mind.
I mean, the dog usually can annihilate the cat on a physical level, but those swipes, and they take the mystery swipe just out of nowhere. All of a sudden, the dog's going mad.
Yes.
Yeah, if they have claws, it's worse.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and she goes for his eyes. He has these really beautiful blue eyes, and he'll like play with her, and she goes right for his eye. I'm like, Cecilia, like, I'm actually scared of her hurting him. I'm not scared of him hurting her.
Yeah.
He's supposed
How old is the dog?
I think we got him when he was around 2. We've had him 2 years. So I think he's like 4, and I think she's almost 4. So it's interesting, and they're very good, but he's high energy and she's highly annoying. So it's a lot of, she literally does this thing where she like meows for food 3 times a day. And my wife is not disciplined in that regard. So like and my fears of, I know Defo had these fat cats, and good for them. Fat animals weird me out. Like, I don't want my animals fat. I like that she can jump on things and run, and so it's fun here.
All right, Tony, we're going to come back. We'll do a little old school. Lubie was supposed to start today, but I guess we could just have you do his work for him.
Yeah, there you go.
He was going to do the original version, the opening episode of his Training Camp Chronicles, which one of the most respected pieces of journalism that you'll find anywhere over the years.
100%.
Been a little inconsistent with it, I would have to say. Kind of like my newspaper delivery, where they didn't deliver the paper on day one.
I want to hear this story about the newspaper delivery.
It was a stupid mistake.
I love that day one. They've already screwed it up.
You're old school, and I am an old fool. I got sucked in on a deal that you really couldn't turn down. I mean, I only had $10 to lose, but the aggravation factor has already gotten to me. I mean, the anxiety about the lack of delivery and the lack of service, which is the reason I had to quit this thing after 20 years to begin with. And sure enough, I'm ready to call and cancel already today. All right, we're coming back with more with Tony Segreto, old school. That's brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants. Also set to be joined, I believe, via telephone today by the great Ed Garcia of Texas Roadhouse, who has to be salivating over the fact that not only are pro football teams in training camp, but we're not that far away from the college football season. So we'll get into some of that with Tony and Ed Garcia in a moment. Now that.
The time.
8:40.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
We are now kicking it old school with the one and only Tony Segreto. Brought to you by Texas Roadhouse.
Welcome back to the show. Good to have you guys with us. We're Old School with Tony Segreto. Tony in Vermont, enjoying himself. Mike Lubit's up there in the box, which on my screen is upper left corner.
Yes.
And I'm Jeff DeForest. We're happy to have you guys with us here for the show. All right, Tony, we want to take you back into time here because do you remember the first time or any significant time back in the day when you traversed your way out to the Miami Dolphins training camp, especially on the opening day of their first practice sessions? Do you recall anything in particular about those experiences?
The 12-minute run.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Was that on the first day?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they do that. That's how they gauged the shape of guys on the first day. Oh, Jesus.
It was a requirement, right? Did you have to do it in a certain amount of time? No, you just had to make the 12 minutes. That's right. So it was a clock.
Guys were thrown up, puking.
Amazing, yeah.
It was just, the heavy guys were just barely making it, and they would take their shirts off, and oh my God, they started out with shirts and shorts. Excuse me, but by the end of the run, they were throwing out their shirts to put it around their heads.
A lot of guys didn't make it at all. Now, was there some kind of consequence if you didn't last the entire 12 minutes? Because I remember
you had to do it again. You had to do it again the next day.
Do it until you made it?
Oh, yep. Jesus. Oh, God.
No, but some guys just couldn't. I remember in particular, and he's in good shape now, but he was a much larger man back then. The very distinguished judge from Miami, Ed Newman. Who I was sort of friendly with, and he dreaded this more than anything. He really did. I mean, he
did. Lubie, he didn't sleep for the first 3 days when he got there because he was a nervous wreck.
Well, and then back in that, and these days, people stay in shape year round and they go to different places and work out. Isn't that when guys would just take the off season off and use preseason to get into shape?
Take it off.
What surprised me though was the wide receivers, struggled with it. Yes. Running backs, guys that you figure, look, 12-minute run. If you're not being asked to complete a certain number of laps, and they had that funky little, you don't see this much anymore, where they have an actual track, like a 440 track around the football field, like you would at a high school or something.
Yep.
This was kind of like a high school, this St. Thomas facility that they used. So they ran on that, and you would watch. And did Shula take a special sadistic joy in watching this? What was his reaction to all of it? Or was he disappointed that half the guys couldn't make it running for 12 minutes, which you're thinking if you're running for 12 minutes, even if you were going at a sort of a modest pace, you're maybe only going like a mile and a half or something in that period of time.
He was disappointed, I think, because they didn't come back in shape.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. But he would gauge that probably more than anything.
Really? I mean, it seems like an innocuous event. We're going to, instead of running gassers, we're going to run for 12 minutes, jogging. Yeah, I remember that, though. It was a wild scene because you had the whole squad out there. And, of course, they had a zillion guys that were there in training camp. I didn't realize that was the first day, though, that they did that. I thought they gave them like a couple of days, and then and it was required that you had to. I'm pretty sure it was required you had to finish it, but I don't know that Newman ever finished one. Now, are you going to take a potential all-pro offensive lineman out of the lineup because he can't run for 12 minutes?
You could walk it if you had to.
Oh, you could? Okay.
Yeah, you could.
You should be able to walk for 12 minutes, though.
Yes, you could. But still, it was sadistic, and it was.
I mean, what's a big deal? So you're going to jog for a half hour, an hour, or whatever.
We were worried that Shula would make us run it.
I think you could have done it. I could have done it. Yeah. You could run for
You
12
You
minutes.
couldn't do it,
It's hot
Defo.
as hell. It's
Ah,
hot
it
out
wasn't
there.
that bad. Run for 12 minutes. That was nothing. That was a breeze in the park. What are you talking about?
Good for you.
I was amazed, though, that some of the guys that you would think would be more athletic, actually. I remember like Mark Clayton struggling with it.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, I don't know if he was doing too much blow. I don't know exactly when he was doing it at the time, but
Let's
you
not
would
go
think
there.
that this would be nothing. I mean, for a wide receiver to run for 12 minutes. Newman, no. Who else? Who else really struggled on that thing? A couple of the
Ed
other
Newman, Norm Evans.
Norm Evans. Okay.
Um,
Cooch, did Cooch do well with that?
no, Cooch,
No?
Cooch struggled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So and now were you there when like Zonka was doing his stuff, or
Oh,
was
yeah.
that before your time?
Jonathan Kick and Mercury Morris was in shape all the time.
Yeah.
He would.
He could have walked on his hands and done it. No, really, he could have done a handstand for like the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he went to his grave in that fashion. I mean, he was really always he amazed me what kind of shape he was in. All right, speaking about being in good shape, here's a guy that's in great shape because not only does he have a piece of many of the Southeast Regional Texas Roadhouse restaurants, but happens to be a great guy, and he's on the precipice of the college football season rolling around. We welcome via telephone today. We should have a picture of Ed or something. Ed Garcia from Texas Roadhouse. Ed, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Just fine and dandy, Ed. How's it going?
It is going absolutely fantastic. Heading down to Miami and West Kendall today to hang out there, and we're going to be making some old-fashioned, really Texas Roadhouse style green beans and our mashed potatoes and all that stuff. Just all day today.
Very nice. All right. How excited are you, Ed Garcia? Where do we stand? We have the pros coming in. Tony was talking about opening days of training camp. What are colleges doing now? Did they start up anything yet?
They're getting ready to, and I'll tell you, the predictions have been coming in, and kind of looking at that, it's going to be a really exciting season. With everything that's been changing around, with all the the people changing from one college to another college, and the NIL, the impact that it's going to have this season is going to be something else. I mean, so. Pretty excited, to get this going. Very exciting that July 31st, we're already going to have our first pro football game, and those are going to be the Lions. So I know that Tony's pretty happy about that one. Well, at least Tony's wife is.
A Hall of Fame game, man. That might be the weirdest football game ever contested. Hall of Fame. Did you ever go to a Hall of Fame game, Tony? You probably did.
Oh yeah, I've been to the Hall of Fame game about 3 times. My daughter's working on this one now.
Oh wow!
Did they score any points in the game you went to?
Yes.
Sounds like a 6-0.
Think about it.
Well, we got a couple of field goals on the board here. We're midway through the third quarter.
It was 6-0 in the first half, but after that, it was pretty good.
I remember when they played 6 preseason games, the Dolphins, I think in the last one, lost to the Bears 6-0, and the entire South Florida area was in a panic.
Was that Ed? Do you remember this? 6 preseason games. That was dreadful. That was dreadful.
Too young, huh? We're all codgers on the show here, Tony. I don't think I don't think they had 6. How long has it been since they reduced it down there? It went to 4 and now it's 3. But what's your thought about that? How much attention do you pay to NFL preseason, Ed? Do you put any credibility into the results?
No, I don't put any credibility into it because I don't think that they're going out there to just practice their plays. It's not about the W. You also got to protect your players and just look at something a little bit different. I think it's exciting, because you get to see some of your favorites, throwing the ball around. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited to see how JJ McCarthy comes out because he's been talked about so much lately and coming off that injury last year. Granted, I just want to see him throw the ball, but it gets excitement going and it gives you something to do here, through the next month and a half till the actual season starts. So that's exciting.
Tony, you think there's a big overreaction to things that happen in the preseason? I mean, talking about training camp, you got 50 guys out there all of a sudden gathering quotes and everything, and people start talking about who's hot and who's not. Is there really any read that defines anything that you can make out of preseason football?
No.
Nothing.
No. Yeah.
Did the coaches even evaluate people, or did they just say
they would evaluate people? There was a guy, I remember this as a kid growing up. I was 13 or 14. Yes. It was Diary of a Rookie.
Okay.
And he would write the Miami News every day.
Oh, yeah.
What it was like to be a rookie, what it was like to go through the training camp, what it was like. And the guy made a team.
Oh, nice.
That was good.
Well, those are the best. Those are what people love on Hard Knocks. They always love the random dude that finds a way to make it.
But college football season, I think, is going to be great this year because, everybody is underestimating Miami. They're underestimating Notre Dame. They're underestimating Florida State. So all three schools, I think, I got something to prove.
I'm looking at Miami. The giant dark shadow there is they have to overcome the Cristobal factor.
Yes, they do.
Oh, really? I mean, I believe this. Usually you don't have a coach that you can point to 1 or 2 games a season that the loss was directly attributable to bonehead coaching decisions.
Directly.
The Syracuse game, my God, the Georgia Tech thing a couple of years ago. I mean, just despicable mistakes made by this guy.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
Sure he is.
You meet him, he is a wonderful human being. But you get him on that football field, and man, oh man.
He's the worst strategist, that they've had on the sidelines. I don't know. I mean, they went through a period there where weren't exactly lining up very distinguished coaches. Well, what do you think, Ed? What's your opinion of Cristobal?
I'll tell you this. I think that they'll make the playoffs. But what's going to be really exciting is that I think in the playoffs, my prediction is that they're going to play Georgia. So that's going to make a really intriguing storyline that Tony's going to be able to love to talk about, with Carson Beck and everything else. But, hopefully Cristobal can overcome that, his nemesis of himself in a sense, and make some good play calling. And I'd love to see Miami move forward. They're, really big fan, and Texas Roadhouse is a big fan of them, the team, and not going to lie on my PlayStation when I do get a chance to play. I do like to play the Hurricanes.
Do you still do the pregame meals for them, Ed?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, nice.
We do them and FIU, and then we just picked up another school, but much smaller school. But yes,
what do you do for them?
We love taking care of Miami. Actually, their nutritionist reaches out and puts together a menu, and I would say that every football player eats about 3 meals of what you and I would probably eat.
Really?
Fine with what Tony would eat because Tony prefers.
Tony's picking at that salmon with a little fork.
You give them like tons of food, and they eat all it. Like they really do put it away. Like we see it. Like it's really like that. Like the calorie.
100%. 100%. Yes. I mean, it's amazing when you watch these athletes because the amount of calories that they burn per day.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing like you and I where we watch our diet. We may say, "Hey, Diet Coke" or "No mayo" or this that. For them, they almost need to add that because they need the calories because they're burning so much so fast. It's really quite impressive. But the nutritionist really makes sure that the sodium and the calories, it's lean, so that way they can take it to the next level, which I think is pretty incredible. But very excited, very blessed to be, part of and supporting that organization for sure.
Now, do you bring the stuff to their facility, or do they come into the restaurant?
Nope, we bring it to their facility. A couple of players have come in, quite a bit and support, Texas Roadhouse, which is pretty cool because obviously feeding them all the time, I think we get them hooked on those, hand-cut steaks and, the made-from-scratch mashed potatoes. Obviously, you can't go wrong. So we get to see them come in, but we deliver, sometimes up to 3 times a week to their facility.
Wow. Nice little deal there. Now, I saw something that startled me. I mentioned it on the show yesterday, Ed, and you would be a great one to address this. So I'm in Publix. I'm just rolling around looking for whatever BOGOs involve things that I normally would buy. And I roll by the meat section, the beef section, and a guy is leaning over, and he actually stops me and says, "Can you believe this?" I'm like, "Believe what?" And he's pointing to a steak, and one steak was $43. This is uncooked.
Cooked. It wasn't cooked.
unprepared. And I'm thinking, I don't know what that could be.
It
I
wasn't
mean,
dry aged. It wasn't
it
like
was something
dry
special. I mean, it wasn't something that I took a special notice of because it was just it looked like a pretty good steak, but $43 for one steak. And then I'm thinking I could have gone to Texas Roadhouse. I told the guy this. I said you could go to Texas Roadhouse and get their ribeye, fantastic, and I think it's like $32. Save yourself $10 and go and have it. Yeah.
Oh, the bone-in ribeyes. Oh, jeez.
But I mean, has the price of meat escalated beyond anybody's? I noticed this about ground beef and chicken also, but seems like these prices have escalated exponentially just in the last year.
Ironically enough, I do have a call later this afternoon with our CEO, and I've been prepping the last couple weeks for like our mid-year and beef pricing. Now, just because it's on the internet, according to Abraham Lincoln, it's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Doing some research, this is the smallest amount of cattle that is present in the United States since 1951.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Therefore, it's triggering beef pricing and actually all pricing, beef, chicken, all that stuff. We're going to see for the next 6 months. This is, again, not an official prediction. This is just Ed Garcia, my disclaimer, so don't hold me accountable. But the next 6 months, you are going to see an increase in protein. But by the turn of the year, things will level out and we should see a reduction. Now, whether or not, places roll prices back, that's, typically unheard of, but there should be, a reduction, I think, by the turn of the year. That's just kind of what I've seen and what I've been studying because, I'm reviewing menus, as we speak and looking at whatever I can do to keep prices the way that we can keep prices. So I have to kind of keep my tabs on that. But fun fact of the day, there's not a lot of cattle out there, so beef is pricey.
Wow.
It's not changing in price.
Hey Ed, do you still have the do you still butcher shop?
We don't have the butcher shop anymore. There wasn't people getting that quality. They wanted to just come in Texas Roadhouse versus having it shipped to their doors. So the demand wasn't high enough for us to keep all those butchers on hand. But you will find. I don't know if you've seen at Publix yet, but I want to say Costco and Sam's. We got our frozen bread.
Nice.
It's a little bit different, inspired by Texas Roadhouse. And you'll also find in the seasoning section, we have some pretty cool seasonings that, it's basically our blossom seasoning and our snake bite seasoning, which the snake bite is, our homemade jalapeno popper, but it's really kind of like a spicy seasoning that you can throw on top of some of your favorite dishes. So keep an eye out for those. That's pretty exciting. Nice. And it's doing very well.
All right, well, keep fighting the fight there.
Yes.
You're our guy that's out there battling for the people to keep these prices down and doing a great job. Ed, always a pleasure, man. Have a good meeting down there in Miami, and thanks so much for being with us here on the show.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
Right, hi, Ed Garcia, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a great guy.
Oh, no, wonderful person. Really is. $43 though on a steak, Tony. What could it have been? I don't know.
No, but it wasn't.
I didn't look. I just saw it.
Did it come from Smith and Walensky or something?
You would have thought that there was a chef right there to prepare it for you. And,
exactly.
It was Chateaubriand, my friend. One steak. I mean, we were saying if you had a barbecue and you had 6 people coming over, you're out $250. That's
and the chicken breast now.
Oh, way up there.
Defo's been talking about that for a few weeks now.
Yeah, way up there. Shockers.
They're so big that they're exponentially. You used to go. What was it? $6 to $5 a pound. $4 a pound.
Yeah, I used to get like 3 chicken breasts for $6. Now it's like $2 a pound. And there's a picture of Jose Canseco on the label there because they made it with juice that not even Victor Conti would touch. It's
oh my God!
What's happening to groceries? No, I never get out of there. I'll buy like 3-4 items, and it's always $35-$40. And that's not including my, necessary every 2 week stop for beer. Because I'm chugging down 2 of those after the walk of life every day, and it's keeping me alive, Tony. It's keeping me going. I don't know what you're doing, Tony. You're shooting some
Look
kind
fantastic.
of or something. My God. So what do you have going today? What's on tap in Vermont? What do you do a typical activity day? Is there arts and crafts somewhere? Is there? What are you doing, man?
Well, it's going to be warmer. You guys are going to kill me. It's going to
Don't
be
even mention it.
Warmer than it's been. It'll be 70 degrees today.
Oh,
Ooh,
Jesus.
man,
I thought of the Northeast is getting this
You're way north.
heat wave. Like, aren't you in the Northeast? Like, I don't get it. You're like in this bubble. It's like annoying.
We're way up north, though. We're way up north. We're going to go to Vermont Country Store, which is
exciting. Kind of buy some beef jerky there. What are you going to do?
Exciting.
It's a good life, Tony.
I love you, Tony. Thank you for putting up with us every week.
Oh, wait. So what's the rest of you? Okay, so you go to this country store. What do you do there? Do you have like a band or something?
Oh my
God. I'll see you next week.
We love you. He's done. He pulled a Visser Mama. He's done. We love you, Tony. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, you're looking good, kid. That's all that matters. Better to look good than to feel good.
Oh my God.
That's one to look forward to.
Yeah, that's classic.
We're working our ass off, and this guy's going to the country store, and that's the big activity. What else can you do out there? I mean, what are you doing?
That's why he's only there a few months.
Is hiking big? I don't know. What do you do over there?
Yeah. Nature. I mean, hiking and walking and
look at the leaves.
Nature. Don't ask me. I would be in a place like that for like 3 days. I'd be ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, unless it involves sucking down a lobster roll, which I guess we have an opportunity maybe later on today there at Wicked
Today,
Cheese.
yep.
There you go. Now you opened up my taste buds to they'll be screaming at me like I'm screaming at this newspaper delivery guy in my subconscious. All right. Very good, Lubie. A good time today. Old school, old fool. And the older people lighting up in the sporting world last night. Venus Williams. Now, what do you do if you lose to Venus 6'2", 6'1", or whatever this was, and you're Peyton Stearns, number 35 in the world? Do you blame it on your team? You fire everybody? What could possibly have precipitated a loss like that, where you don't even take a set?
Yeah, it's weird.
Of Venus, who, I mean, it was actually sad. It really was like watching my man Danny Little Red Lopez when he made a comeback at 50 after being out of the ring for 6 years, and his last few fights didn't go so favorably. And he was also in that situation where he was sounding more and more like a guy that had more than a cauliflower ear. I mean, and had encouraged some kind of brain negativity, and you hate to see it, right? You hate to see the requiem for a heavyweight, like some washed up guy get in there. But Venus was looking every bit like that, and the fact that she was playing, okay, I have no problem with that. That she was playing at this level, should she have been at the country club taking on the club champion, maybe instead? But she's out there playing pros and beats one of them yesterday.
That's funny.
And then Rich Hill with less than 90 miles an hour on his fastball. In today's modern big league baseball, throws a bunch of curving slop up there and gets through 5 innings with the Royals last night. Incredible. All right, Libby, you have a great day. We will see you later on, and everybody else out there, we'll join you again tomorrow. We'll have the Trivia Challenge with Dave Gerger.
Yes,
We're rolling through the summertime here, but with a lot to do in the program. And then Friday, of course, the professor and the big board. So until next time, we'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:05.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.